Awesome. All right, so now we're gonna take a look at the wet lab and all the resources available in here. Follow me. A lot of times the wet lab needs special access from a lab assistant. So if you need to get in here, try to find a lab assistant who's on duty or one of the lab technicians. As you come in here, there might be some safety precautions to take into account. Sometimes teams are working on different projects. You might need to wear a mask or something like goggles or something specific. In the wet lab, there's a lot of high fidelity 3D printers. You can see some of the printer capabilities right here. For example, the Fortis, the Dimension, the Markforged, the Object. These are all different types of 3D printers that can do really different types of things depending on what kind of needs you might have for your project. If you look on the right, there's a hood in case you need to use it for any chemical specific projects. If you come further down, these are some of the high fidelity 3D printers. So this is the Fortis, this is the Dimension, which is currently out of use. This is the Object, which can do really high precision, high accuracy prints. Again, also flexible and non-flexible material. These printers are operated from these computers right here, and there's instructions on how to set up a print for each of these 3D printers. So for example, Fortis, Object, Dimension instructions right here. If it's your first time, it's a good idea to ask a lab assistant for help. All of these 3D printers are paid for use, so if you want to print something on them, you'll have to have a budget either through a team account or some other account in order to use them. But they're really good, especially for the final prototype for your project if you need this kind of fidelity. If we come right here, there is a water jet cutter right here that can also be used. Again, this specific product should be used in conjunction with a lab assistant or a lab technician. And then over here, there is also a high pressure power blast like water system. So this is especially useful on some, for example, on the Object, when it prints with support. And in order to get rid of that support material, you need to throw it in here, turn it on, and blast it with water at high pressure in order to get that support material off. If you come further down, there's a sink that has the live bath right here, which is applicable to some other 3D printers. So for example, on the Fortis or the Dimension, when they print with support, they have a support that needs to be dissolved when put in this live bath and left for a few hours. Make sure to take that into account in case you're working on a time-sensitive project that might require 3D prints to be done by a certain time. This cabinet has some other tools and resources such as flasks or beakers that you might need. And again, make sure to keep into account any safety materials, gloves, goggles, tissues, so on and so forth.